Well, friends, let us talk about Julius Caesar. Without knowing names, who had said this or who had said that, we we go on quoting hundreds of such quotations in our daily life. We don't need to know the name of Ghalib when we say, इश्क ने तुझे निकम्मा कर दिया वरना हम भी आदमी थे काम के. Or when we say in Marathi language, ठेविले अनंते तैसेची राहावे. Do you think that we need to know Sant Tukaram or Tukaram Maharaj for that matter? I can cite hundreds of such examples that without knowing the name of its author, we just go on quoting. Simple reason for this is that the quotation is a part of our daily life. It is so deeply buried in our conscience that it becomes a part of our daily communication. When someone very close one deceives us or betrays us or rather becomes unfaithful, we unknowingly say, "You too, Brutus." In that case, do we need to know the name of William Shakespeare for that expression? I think not. I think not necessary. Even without knowing from which play this expression has been taken, has been derived from, we go on saying it for the acute pain someone very close one has caused us. This is the greatness of some of the expressions that have become the part of our conscience. They are the part of our daily communication, our daily life. Even today, I remember the serious bass voice of my teacher. He was my English teacher, M. D. Hatkananglekar, who was a very renowned critic in Marathi literature. He was teaching us a Shakespeare play, and the play was Julius Caesar. Needless to say, quite in his very dramatic way, he reached that part where helpless Julius Caesar reaches out fully wounded by the daggers of all the senators, many senators who were present there, and he wanted to seek the help of his closest friend, a trustworthy person, almost like his son, from this kind of a fatal attack. He moves closer to Brutus, and surprisingly, Brutus too stabs him very close to his heart, and Caesar exclaims, "You too, Brutus, or ye too, brute." I still remember the words of my sir. The whole dramatic scene he had created by his mere words. And the words of Caesar, "You too, Brutus." The words were engraved on my soul. This is an example of the best teacher. As we are talking about the best teacher, let me share with you an example of a bad teacher as well. You can take it just as a fun. Take it just as fun, as a joke you can say, but it is a fact. The teacher of whom I am talking to you was considered by many people as the best teacher of English literature. It was not me. Once, when he was addressing public in general, he said, I don't know how, he said, when Caesar said to Macbeth, "You too, Brutus," I was sitting with my students for that lecture, thinking that the person will give some inputs. I was really shocked. I was taken aback. We, I mean, I and my students were looking at each other. We really did not understand what to do. Whether the student should believe me or that great man who said, when Caesar said to Macbeth, "You to Brutus." Macbeth, Caesar, imagination, history. After this lecture, I rushed to this man and told him that he quoted it wrongly. I told him what he had said. He just said, "Did I say that?" And he disappeared in the mob that surrounded him. I told my students that the great man must have said it by mistake. Friends, forget about the incident that I have shared with you. The fact is that the words have become so immortal that they stand for a kind of a deceit. From, from the very close one, if someone dear to you, trustworthy of you, deceives you, if somebody who is a soulmate of yours deceives you, you exclaim, "You too, Brutus." Friends, three words, "I love you" and "You too, Brutus," have actually enveloped the whole humanity. "I love you," or you can say 143, or "Ilu, Ilu," you may be knowing that, are the words on everybody's tip of tongue. Forget about the fact that it takes ages to utter these three little words. And sometimes our whole life is lost. You can see if you are in love or not. Otherwise also, Galib on my channel to know what love is actually. This, my dear friends, is no way promotion of my channel. Anyways, let us concentrate on our play. By now, you must have understood that in this and in many parts hereafter, we are going to talk about William Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar. Friends, it is said that you can never be right about right about Shakespeare. Sorry, I said cricket. I mean, whatever and whenever you say something about him, it becomes rather old, as as always the new trends mingle in his criticism. You say something and somebody else says something. Both of you could be right, or both of you could be wrong also. This play, Julius Caesar, why Shakespeare has not included it in the great tragedies of the world? At least to me, this is one of the great tragedies I have come across because of its dramatic elements. But who cares? Who cares for what I say? I may be right in my own way. If you want to say something, and if you want to see that everybody follows your words, you need to have a great name when writing our exams. Sometimes, not always. Some quotations we used to put in the name of some great critic. The quotation can be our own or it could be a mere sentence. But we used to put it on the name of some great critic. How come the examiner knows all of them? Some exam tactics we used to use, you too can use these tactics, but not overconfidently. डाइग्रेशन हो रहा है टीएम, डाइग्रेशन हो रहा है. I understand that. Okay, back to our play. Friends, right from the Renaissance period to Italian neoclassical times, there was there was a dominance of ancient critics on Shakespearean plays. So obviously, all the criticism that was shadowed by the two names, and two names you can well understand, Aristotle and Horace. It was in the late 18th century with the new way of Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge, new approaches to look and to interpret a Shakespeare's plays or Shakespearean play emerged. He became, means Shakespeare became the model of a new and innovative style. Seen from that perspective, the plays like Julius Caesar received a greater admiration. हर एक का दिन आता है यार, हर एक का दिन एक आता है. The character-based criticism became influential, in which the characters of Julius Caesar, or you can say, for that matter, Brutus, received a new kind of attention, and they were admired as compared to the Shakespeare's characters in his earlier plays. Even postmodern criticism used the imagery of, or we can say symbol of, it's not same, symbol of blood and body in order to know the play in a better way. So friends, Julius Caesar is a play that can be understood in several ways. In the early 19th century, the straitjacket of a new classical school was taken off and a new approach of the Romanticism was developed. S.T. Coleridge considered that Shakespeare basically talks about human nature. He talks about human nature everywhere. So we find a kind of, he quoted or he said, organic unity in his heroes. From Hamlet to Julius Caesar, one can find flow of human nature. He talked about nature. In Hamlet, we see a sort of a confusion to decide, whereas in Julius Caesar, we find the elements of nobility. We come across communing with some human nature. It is like a vegetable sap that is present everywhere. It is present in branches. It is present in sprays. It is present in the buds. It is present in the blossom. It is present in the fruits and their various shapes, taste, and even the odor. Who is the real hero of Julius Caesar? The play is named after Julius Caesar. But what about Brutus, who drives the rest of the plot of the play? Of course, there are different opinions of different critics belonging to the different schools. Romantic criticism considers Brutus to be the hero because it is based on characterization as a new conception of unity, organic unity. But to the critic like George Gottfried Ganvinius, who argued that the play does not bear Caesar's name without any reason. When Shakespeare has given the name, he had a point. If Caesar was not the hero, why would Shakespeare name it after him? It could be understood by knowing the fact that even after Caesar's death, you too, Brutus, the civil war that continued was in the name of Julius Caesar. One can feel the spirit of a man till, till the end of the play. Here, one another critic called J.D. Snyder claims that the real hero of the play is Julius Caesar, as he represents the spirit of humanity. I mean, world spirit, that is what actually he meant. To me, the play is really important because because even today it has got its relevance. In the five-act play, which stands out for the portrayal of assassination of Julius Caesar by a group of members that was headed by Brutus. This particular play, this particular play underlines hunger for power, betrayal, throwing off the loyalty, and many things that could be very easily that could be very easily seen in the Indian politicians. So friends, this play can be studied keeping in mind the Indian political scenario, a new approach. Friends, improper action of a few, I think you understand. Improper action of a few can change the course of history. This narrative holds the attention of the commoners and the theatre goers around the world. Let me tell you, one of my professors and a very well-known and renowned playwright in Marathi literature, Professor Dilip Pardeshi, he wanted to adapt this play as a Grameen play. I mean, it is countryside play. But before he could do this adaptation, he passed away about a decade back. He thought that the elements like murder, bloodshed, they happen so easily in the countryside. He thought actually of a suitable atmosphere, or we can say a suitable backdrop, all these actions to happen, to play. As we are more civilized, we are more civilized, we are more polished, we do not delve deep into such activities. But surprisingly enough, we don't kill our political opponent. We don't kill our political opponent, we finish them. The end result is the same. We save our ground to play as we need and as we want to play. Anyways, let us get ahead with Julius Caesar in the next parts as we did about the earlier plays in this series. But don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to forward, don't forget to like, comment, and more importantly, ask your friends to subscribe my channel DMS Underlines. Anyway, thank you. Hopefully you are enjoying this lecture series. Thank you very much.